everyone. Welcome to a new episode of A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latino. My name is Jennifer Salazar, and I am a video content creator for Virtual Latinos. For those of you maybe that are wondering what A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latino is, this is a series that we created where we're going to be having our hired VAs for the agency joining us to talk a little bit about their experience for working remotely and what they do on a daily basis, and basically get to know each other better. So thank you. Today we have Carla from Ecuador joining us. Carla, it's a pleasure to have you here in this new episode. Tell us how you feel.
Hi everyone. Hi Jen. So good to meet you. I'm really excited to be here. When I saw the email, I was like, oh my God, I am always speaking about Virtual Latino, so this is something that I have to do.
Oh, so cute. Thank you so much for joining us. Fun fact, guys, I am also from Ecuador, but Carla is from Quito, our capital city, and I'm more in the coast, beach part of the Ecuadorian map. So tell us, Carla, right now, guys, we're having the interview after lunchtime. So what do you have for lunch? Tell us a little bit about, what did you eat today?
Well, I actually had a very Ecuadorian dish. It's called motepillo.
Oh
So
my
it's
God, I
like
love it.
so it's like corn mixed with egg and onions and milk and yeah, achote and with like a piece of chicken.
Oh my God, it's such a long time since I ate motepillo. So actually, you made me crave for a motepillo dish right now. I actually went very simple, some chicken with some salad and some rice. Actually, I didn't cook anything Ecuadorian, but yeah, so great to hear that you have motepillo because I really, really like it. So I bet our audience would like to know, who Carla is. Tell us a little bit about you. I know that you actually worked as a journalist for almost 7 years, but you made a shift career to marketing. How did that happen?
All right. So after I graduated from college, I went straight ahead and started working. I was very lucky and got hired by one of the biggest newspapers here in Ecuador. And that's when I I started my career there. But I was always involved in like the digital part of the newspaper. So it was more related with like positioning, with using SEO and making things more attractive for social media. So it was very funny for me when I realized like, oh my God, this is kind of like related to marketing, and this could be like a shift I could do in my career. Because if I'm being completely honest, when I was in college, I already knew that I didn't want to be like a journalist full time. I didn't really like it,
Okay, so
but
you got the
I
hint
did
inside
like
of you then.
yeah, but it was like I
Okay.
was already in my third year in my career, so I wasn't going to switch. I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish my career and then I'm gonna see what I do afterwards. So in 2019, before the pandemic, my partner and I started a business. It was an online business, and that required us to gain a bunch of new skills that we didn't even know we had,
Of course.
to train ourselves better in social media for sales and for getting our product more like known. We got pretty successful, but then the pandemic hit and it slowed everything down. So I was actually kind of like looking for a side hustle that I could do with that extra time and that would make up for the income that we had lost. And that's how I discovered Virtual Latinos. But then things got really, really bad at my job and I wasn't even getting paid anymore. And I don't know, things just kind of like happened. I stopped getting paid by the time I was accepted into the community. So I was like, okay, this is meant to be. If I'm gonna do this full time, then I need to do it. I don't want to have my safety net if I really want to make the shift in my career. So I quit my job, joined Virtual Latinos, started with a 15-hour-a-week job, and I am currently working 23 hours a week. And I mean, it's been great.
Great. So now you mentioned that it seems like everything was merged to happen like that. So when something is for you, you will get it, and definitely it's the best thing that ever happened to you in this case. Now, getting more into the subject, how can you describe that is your day as a virtual marketing manager or social media manager that you're more involved to while working? I know that you are working currently with one of our clients in the software and IT or technology industry. So how has that experience been? Usually because you said that you were not new in the marketing area because you already had as your business online, brought that desire of you, getting more knowledge about marketing and everything, but combining those two things. And have you learned new things from your client or the company that your client has regarding software and technology?
Well, that's a funny story actually, because I had experience in marketing prior to being hired by Virtual Latinos, but it was more B2C. And what my client currently does is B2B. And I remember when I saw the opening, because I was always checking for openings on marketing, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is the good fit for me. Like B2B marketing can be very like different from B2C. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to apply. And then one of you guys reached out to me and you said to me, like, I think you would be a great fit for this job. And then, yeah, I applied. And then I got really excited when a member of the recruitment team texted me and said, like, the client is interested in learning more about you and more about these skills that you mentioned in your proposal. So can you tell me a little bit more about it? And then they gave me this great tip that I always share with the community. It's like, on your proposals, be as detailed as possible, because that's the first thing that the client is going to see from you. And I honestly didn't know that when I was starting to send proposals. I always say I got pretty lucky because it didn't take me that long to get hired. I think it was a month or a month and a half. But back then the community was way smaller. I do notice that Virtual Latinos has grown a lot over the past year and a half, which is the amount of time that I have been here. And then, yeah, you guys reached out to me. And then I think, well, my client did take a long time to making like a decision. So I was like, okay, I probably didn't get it. It's fine. It wasn't the first time that I wasn't going to get a job that I applied to. And then I remember it was the Monday after Mother's Day. So I was like super nervous because I wasn't in my home. Like I wasn't in an environment that I was really comfortable in, because my parents don't live in the house I grew up in anymore. So I remember I got out of my interview, and then it was like 10 minutes later that the recruitment team texted me and they were like, your client wants to hire you. This person wants to hire you. And I just screamed.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
My mom, she opened the door and she was like, what happened to you? And I was like, I got a job. And my mom was like, I thought you were being killed here. Like,
that's so cool.
So yeah, and then I started working with my client. It kind of like made me realize that if I wanted to be successful at my job, it was all on me now. Like, yeah, he provided training on the tools he was using, but he was not going to show me how to properly do B2B email marketing, for example. That was something that I had to learn by myself. So I had been working with him for a few months, and I decided like, no, I need to do more. So I started taking courses. In December 2021, I got certified as a community manager in digital strategies. And those are all things that I have been doing in order to like just keep improving at the job that I do, because I really, really like my client, and we have developed this amazing relationship where we like trust each other. And they actually, my birthday was a couple of months ago, and he actually sent me like a present for my birthday, and that was,
oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sweet to build that type of relationship, right? Because one thing that actually, I'm not going to say bothers, but sometimes it's a little bit more like frightening for people working remotely is distance. Like you're used to working in an office and having your colleagues there next to you or your boss, and hey, you want to go for a couple of drinks after the office and everything. And that connection, that human connection, obviously gets kind of lost when you're working remotely. But making you feel like you're actually there, or maybe like you're welcome and giving you a present, it's a pretty nice detail from your client actually. And I think it's very sweet that you find that beautiful client that it's actually, you know, caring more about the person, not actually like the professional that they hired. Like, you know, they care about you. So that's really cool to hear. And what can you describe that are your three main tasks for the role that you do for the client?
All right, so my three main tasks would be email marketing, social media content, and then website maintenance. One of the skills that I have been lucky enough to develop with my client was creating a website from scratch. I didn't know how to do that, and we decided that the website needed some new design, so I took care of that. And it was like a pretty huge task that I I took on myself. I am not a developer, so it was pretty cool. And then the design that came out of it, I am actually really, really proud of it because it I mean, it looks pretty good. Well, I say that myself because I designed it, but I have had other people say that the website looks.
No, you can praise yourself. I mean, if you know that you're actually preparing yourself for that and you're actually doing a great job, you can say, hey, I actually like what I'm doing. It's a great job. So, yeah, it's okay to praise yourself. I was also wondering, because you see, maybe we have inside our audience people that are just wanted to know exactly how the remote work living goes, and they are just trying to find out maybe through these videos or just scrolling to the internet. How is the difference between working physically in an office and then making that shift from home, and what tip can you give them to avoid distractions, especially when you're working from home?
All right, so if possible, because I know that this isn't always possible, you need to set up like a proper workspace where you can have peace and quiet. Like it's not really enough to just try to put on your noise canceling headphones and be focused on what you do. You really need to have a proper workspace. So it does require a bit of I mean, it's kind of like an investment actually, because you create a place where you feel inspired. You need to work on organizing yourself better because, for example, in my case,
Totally.
I don't have a fixed schedule for working. I am very lucky that my client is pretty flexible that way.
That's cool.
So because mhm. So but it is a challenge for me because I was used to working on a schedule. So setting your own working hours is, I think it's key when you're working remotely, because otherwise it can be very easy to go one or one way or the other. So you can be there like totally unfocused, and it can be very hard for you to get your job done, or you can
Exactly.
be focused in your job and you can be working more than the hours that you're actually being paid for. And don't I mean I wouldn't beat myself up. That's one of the things that I did when I first started working remotely. It's like, don't beat yourself up if you lose concentration every now and then, because this is like a really new thing. Take your time to find the rhythm that works best for you. I didn't discover until like a few months ago that I was more creative in the mornings. So I do all my content creation in the mornings, and then I leave the afternoons for like admin tasks that don't really require me to be creative.
So that's cool to hear. Yeah, actually, well, I'm not more in the creative side, yeah, actually, because I do video content creation, but I don't have, like, for example, to think about the content for social media and something like that. But yes, you do find when you are more creative and you explode at a certain point, you say, okay, this is the time where I'm going to be at my full potential, and you get to know more about that. I bet that there are new people there looking at us. One last thing that you would like to say to those people, maybe an advice that you would like to give them, like general advice for remote work?
Okay, so my advice for people who are thinking about starting to work remotely is that you do need to know that it is very important to be patient, to keep developing your skills, to make sure that every proposal that you send is better than the prior one, and to also like trust the process, trust the team that is in charge of recruitment, trust the clients. Like in the end, it all comes down to their decision. So getting a remote job is not something that happens overnight. You need to be very patient, and you need to keep developing the things that you do know how to do and practice your English. Like if you want to work for companies in the United States, your English is going to be the most important thing. So like download Duolingo, watch some series,
Yeah,
and practice with
Duolingo
some
actually works
friends.
pretty fine. Yeah.
When you get rejected from jobs, it is hard. And I remember like being ready to be hired, and this is going to be the job for me, and I fit all the like requirements, and then I didn't get the job, and it can be
Mhm.
heartbreaking, especially because like we all have bills to pay or that we want to do with our money. And but you have to trust that the right client is out there for you, and that if it's not happening for you yet, it will happen eventually. if you keep working hard. And like, don't settle once you get a job. You need to keep working on developing new skills, because especially like if you're in marketing like I am, you know that it's changing all the time. So you cannot get too comfortable with what you are doing. And then communication is so important, especially because we interact through skin through like computer screens. So we need to be very mindful about how we say things, because sometimes you can send an email and you're not trying to like be rude or anything, but that something that you are saying can be perceived as rude, because in the end we have different cultures. And here in Ecuador we always speak like with the chiquito. It's like el trabajito, te mando un correíto. But in the States
Totally.
they don't really do that. So when they send you an email, it can be like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And then, yeah, you have to know that if you're doing everything right, it doesn't really mean that you did something wrong. It's just the way they speak.
Thank you so much, Carla, for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you here and, spending a little bit time with us to get to know you better. I bet our audience have also think the same about this really cool session that we had today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if maybe you're new and you came up with this video, and also hit the like button and share it with your friends. More episodes of A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latino are coming soon, so stay tuned. Bye-bye, everyone.